How long did it take you to build like all of them, like all the fists?
I mean, I guess you could say from the week after George Floyd was killed when I arrived here up until now, in a way. I'm Jordan Powell-Karis. I'm from uptown Minneapolis. I do other mediums of art. There's like music, there's painting. I build all sorts of things, not just sculptures, but practical uses in woodworking. Um, so yeah, I'm a kind of multifaceted artist. I created fist statues that stand about 11 feet tall. They have been at the center intersection at 38th Chicago, as well as the 4 surrounding intersections, as well as an open hand statue about the same size. It was between, the first fist was between a big fist, the letters justice, the letters George Floyd, or a large heart. It was something was going to be built big for the streets at the time. There's thousands of people coming to the space every day, and it was holding the streets. And I was working with a group of volunteers, and at the time I handed them those 4 options, and they came back to me in about 5 seconds and said the fist. The fist statues are usually made of wood. One of the statues in the center is now made of steel. The most challenging part of building the fist is navigating the helping hands that show up always in a different way. I cannot do it by myself, and it's a very impactful piece of work to take part in. And so when people participate, it becomes an emotional engagement and an enduring physical engagement. And so working with the different people each time has been a challenge. The first fist, I'd say easily 20 or 30 people participated. From start to finish of all of the fists, we're probably up to 50 or 60 people have laid hands, if not 100 potentially. A couple people had experience. A couple people brought tools and here, I got my own power tool, let me help. But if 30 people showed up, like about 3 of them seemed to know what they were doing. A lot of it was also putting a tool in someone's hand that had never used the tool. And they're just in this space where everyone's showing up and they're looking for some way to help, something to do. And we were like, well, sure, if you're comfortable carrying this, we can move forward. And here's the impact driver or the drill or the saw. But most people didn't have any experience, and they were raw. And like me too, I hadn't built anything this large either. So I felt like I was kind of with them, and like we're just learning. And if you were lucky enough to get a paintbrush, you didn't have to think very hard and do very much because you just got to throw on the brown paint or something. But a lot of it was just kind of going out there. And that was the vibe of the whole space, because during the day we had the stages were set up in the middle of the streets, and there was like performances happening that seemed a little unorganized, and then they kind of deteriorated to becoming really unorganized, and you couldn't tell who was in charge, you couldn't tell who controlled the mic or who was turning up the music or not, and all of a sudden the stage was being taken down, and there was no stage in the middle of the street all of a sudden. And we looked at the fist space, and it kind of seemed like, oh, this is something that people could stand up on, but it won't be for like, you can't take over the fist space as an individual person standing, because the fist is there standing too. And so once we did put it out there, an individual immediately, a guy named Jay, who's Jay the gardener, a lot of people know him by, he stood up on it right away and started doing, a salute with the fist and a little bit of chanting and such. And it was very powerful to see. I'm pretty sure people did that for some time before it got moved to the center intersection. But yeah, it moved fast. A fist will take anywhere from 2 days to build up to 5 days. The favorite part of building the fist is seeing it finished and knowing that it's participating in this greater protest, and it's kind of a relief to be able to put down the tools truly, and when you're building it, it's just go, go, go. Because once I've committed to building a fist, there doesn't seem like there's an option to stop.